What's up, YouTube? It's Biblical Truther again today. I want to share my thoughts on how we've all heard about the whole uh, Trump and the QAnon conspiracy, right? Where they're supposed to have all these secret indictments and all how they're going to take down the world elites, the people who are suspected of trafficking and that sort of thing. Um, but let me share another scenario no one has ever thought of. And my wife and I was discussing this last night. And it's just mere speculation. But how could they censor the entire world of truthers in one night? Because they say in that conspiracy with Trump and Q and all that, that when they decide to enact all these secret indictments, that they're going to do it in a worldwide sweep in one night. They're going to pick up all these people at once, right? Well, what if, and here's where my scenario comes from, and if you think it's not possible, just hang tight. But let's just say that there was a guy who came on the scene with a bunch of information, and he's offering them in thumb drives. Information, notes, charts, maps, that sort of thing. And he's selling them for cheap. But he's also wooing people into letting them on podcasts with him because this knowledge is so profound, right? Well, those guys that allow him on their podcast, this influential person will give them a thumb drive for free. Well, then they take that thing and load it in their computer, and they're looking through all this. Well, the whole time it's downloading a backdoor on their computer, or it could have files on there that relates to the elites and what they are supposed to be doing or said to be doing onto their computer in a file type, which I'm not a techie, so I don't even know how all this stuff works, but I know it's possible. But it downloads files onto your hard drive. And when you've procured enough truthers, big influential truthers, and have given them this type of virus backdoor file, whatever the case may be, and they decide to pounce, everybody who was not aware that this was happening now has this stuff on their computer, and they have just censored the whole world. All the truthers at one time who have partook of this guy's knowledge by way of thumb drive on their computer, right? You think this is possible? I think it's possible. It's just crazy how it came out, this scenario I'm speaking of, hypothetically, if this person was to come on the scene, right? And this happened the way I'm talking about, many of the, strongest supported truth channels just disappear overnight. Not due to censorship, but trafficking or photographs of certain type of people that they're not supposed to have. Shouldn't exist. So is it possible? Could they do this? Well, if they can round up all the elites in their compounds and all these other places they said to have and, tighten security and whatnot, if they're able to round those people up worldwide in one night, is it not possible for them to round up truthers when they're unaware of what has been downloaded on their computers? Just speculation, man, but it is a question you might want to ask yourself. How much do you know this person that you trusted to give you a thumb drive to load, a bunch of information onto your computer? A lot of you big channels out there may know, of a scenario similar to this. Not saying it's true, it's just speculation, hypotheticals. Could a person show up on the scene like this and basically trick the entire community, truther community, into setting themselves up like this? Perhaps it hasn't happened yet, But in the future, when enough truthers has partook of this knowledge, per se, then they decide to pounce. And you know what kind of image that would give to the whole entire truth community? The conspiracy theorist community. You know, QAnon talks about how the Democrats and these evil people project what they're doing on the other people, right? So could that not play right into the narrative that these truthers were projecting all these years with these stories on YouTube? Possible. Just saying, maybe some of these big truther channels might ought to hear this message. Maybe consider that it's a possibility that maybe this was the most ingenious way of removing the truther society from the world. Not saying it is, not saying it's ever happened, but could it? Just a question I'm having. Because it's crazy because, you know, it's a possibility that if a person ever were to arise like this, that they absolutely would give them out for free to big enough channels who have been exposing stuff big enough, you know, aiding in the awakening of the world, humanity as a whole. So if you ever see this type of thing arise, maybe you should think about, you know, not partaking, or perhaps if you do get caught up before you hear of a scenario like this, you may want to change your equipment out. Speculation all day long, but possible, absolutely. Just saying, not pointing a finger at anybody, not saying any names, because hypothetically it hasn't happened yet, right? So I don't know how many people, you know, are wise as serpents and harmless as doves, but would that not be an ingenious way to absolutely eliminate the truther community altogether from every genre, whether you're into the whole reptilian thing, or whether you're into the Anunnaki and the aliens, the New Age, the Tartarian, you know, empires, the New World of America being the actual old world. All of these discoveries that have been made over the years could be wiped out with a scenario like this. And according to the people who support the T-Man and this movement, this Anon, you know, anonymous movement, they say that they can do this to the elites that have militaries that protect them. So what about people like you and I who have no armies to protect us? You think they could just come and wipe us all out at once in one night, worldwide? We know they all work together. So could it be a honey trap to have information like this? Entice the truthers into, you know, the greatest takedown of all time. Just saying, beware. You ever see a situation like this arise, truthers, you may want to think twice about who you talking to and backgrounds and all that, you know, it might not come to light, you know, right off the bat, but when it does, you might want to step back and rethink some things, you know what I mean? Especially when they willing to give you free devices that download things onto your computer. Just saying, man, that would be the most genius, I mean genius, way to eliminate all dissent at one time. Love you guys.